In this video, I'm gonna give you my 5 favorite saddle hunting hacks to make you a more effective, more efficient saddle hunter. I've been saddle hunting for over 5 full seasons, and I've been tinkering and trying to figure out the best way to do things, and this is what I've come up with. But before we jump in, if you could do me a huge favor and please like this video, it helps me out tremendously. So the first hack is to find a way to get up the tree in a single trip. And there's a couple different things that I have on my saddle here that are gonna enable me to do that. They're not expensive, they are not cumbersome. I have 2 of these plastic carabiners. That's it. I have 2 plastic carabiners, one to hold my sticks, which I'll show you in a second. And then I have one on the back to hold my platform. And what that's gonna allow me to do is ascend in a single trip, have everything I need right on my hip, so I can take one stick off at a time, put it on the tree instead of sweating, making additional noise, and taking extra time going up and down the tree, making multiple trips. On my sticks, I have this shock cord that I've tied around the bottom, and that's gonna allow me to clip into the carabiner on my hip and have that ability to climb in a single trip. And then the platform, I simply put the carabiner right through the middle there, and I hang it on my hip, and I'll show you that right now. So really quickly, to illustrate that hack, I would take this first stick on, put it on the tree, and with the 3 additional sticks, I'm simply gonna drop those into my carabiner, and they are ready as I climb the tree to take one off at a time and climb. And then in the same way, I'm gonna reach behind me, drop in that platform, and it's available to me, but it's out of the way as I climb, and I can be hands-free, but still have all of my gear with me. Hack number 2 is to get yourself a Doyle's bow hoist. This is the best bow hoist on the market, hands down. A lot of people use paracord, they use rope, and then when they pull up their bow into the tree, they gotta coil it all back up, put it in their backpack, only to find it knotted up and a huge mess. With this, all you do is pull up your bow, it's gonna automatically retract right back into itself. It's very, very quiet. There's no mess, no additional time messing around with rope, and it's very, very compact and out of the way. So as you climb, the weight of your bow is just gonna hold it on the ground. The line is just gonna come out as you climb the tree. And this is something I would never hunt without if I had the choice. Hack number 3 is what to do to get around a branch. I think saddle hunting is the safest method of hunting. You're attached to the tree from the time you're on the ground all the way up, and you don't detach from the tree until you're back on the ground. But sometimes you run into instances where there's branches or multiple branches, and a common question I get is, well, do you just detach and be free climbing for a period of time, or is there something else that you do? And here I'll show you 2 different hacks for the price of one using your tether. So the first option, and honestly what I do most of the time, is I just let out my bridge and I use my tether like it's intended for normally. And I'll just hook into my tether to get around till I get my lineman belt around the branch. So I'll hook in just like I would if I was at hunting height, tighten that up, and now I can drop that panel and I can safely detach from my lineman belt, move my lineman belt up above this branch, and then I can take my tether off and continue ascending the tree. The second option you have, especially if it's a tree that has multiple branches that you're gonna be trying to move around, is to use this as a second lineman belt. And you might be looking at this like, well, my lineman belt has 2 carabiners, what do? This only has 1. Well, you can take the sewn eye of your tether and girth hitch it to your lineman loop, which basically means to run the sewn eye through your lineman loop, but then run the tether back through itself. And that basically allows this loop or girth hitch to connect to your lineman loop. Now what I can do, use this as a second lineman belt. I can step up, attach to my opposite lineman loop. I can tighten that one, and now I am okay to detach from the tree on the other side. So I can put this back in my pouch now, and now I can use this as my lineman belt. And then when I get to this branch, I can do the same process again and flip-flop. So those are 2 options to get around a branch. That was hack number 3. Hack number 4 is a way to attach your tether to the tree without it slipping down. Before I step onto my platform, when I get to hunting height, I always clip into my tether just to be extra safe, have redundant safety. So typically what I would do is I would just reach up, you'd hook your tether on like normal, and then I would clip into my bridge. But what happens sometimes as I'm in the process of stepping onto my platform, some slack goes into this line and the tether will fall. And anyone who knows, if you get up to adjust your saddle and slack is in your tether at all, your tether will fall. So the hack to keep that from happening is to girth hitch it to the tree. So instead of running your tether through the sewn eye, you're actually gonna take the sewn eye, make a loop like that. You're gonna run it back through itself and then use that as the loop to run the rest of the line through. Now you have a girth hitch here, and once you tighten that to the tree, you can clip in, and no matter how much tension is on the tether, whether it's taut or if there's slack in the line, your tether is going to stay in one place. So hack number 4 is to girth hitch your tether to the tree. Hack number 5 is the best and easiest way to hang your backpack once you get in the tree. Some people use screw-in gear hooks, which you can't use on public land, but instead of carrying an additional product or an additional strap into the woods with you, what I do is once I step onto my platform, all I do is I loosen my lineman belt, I unhook my left side, and I just clip it back onto itself. Now that's gonna be right there where I need it. I undo the other side that has the Prusik knot, and I can tighten that up, can hang my backpack right there from the carabiner. And I know that even if I have a lot of gear in this backpack, it's gonna hold. So now my backpack is out of the way. I can shoot both sides without it being in the way. If I do want it higher, all I gotta do is tighten up that Prusik knot, and it's a little bit higher. If I want it completely out of the way, I can move it to the back side of the tree. And again, I'm not buying any additional products. I'm not bringing anything additional into the woods with me. I'm already gonna have a lineman belt with me. Might as well use it. So hack number 5 is to use your lineman belt to hang your backpack. Hopefully these hacks were helpful. I've been doing this a long time and I found this to be the best way to set up in a saddle. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. We have a ton of awesome content rolling out the rest of this year. But if you really want to level up your saddle hunting game, check out these videos right here.